Mighty Radio.
Hello, and welcome to this brand new edition of 5 Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez. Alongside me is my co-host, Albert Cita. Missing again this week is Gegard Mousasi, who has more important family business to attend to. You agree with me that Gegard was a good husband, a good father. So
it's good that he puts his family first over this show.
If you guys may notice this week, we are down video, or a little video difficulties. So our YouTube is just graphics and such, right, Albert?
Yeah, it's just going to show you some information.
So we still got a lot to talk about this week. We have Anderson Silva losing to Michael Bisping. We have Gegard Mousasi calling out his past opponents, future opponents. We also got
calling out the fans as well.
Yeah, we also got Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor now facing up. We have a little week to prepare for that, and we'll get to UFC 196. So let's get started with round number 1, Albert. So, might as well UFC Fight Night in London. Fight Pass exclusive card took place this past Saturday. The main event between Anderson Silva and Michael Bisping. Rather back and forth fight, actually. I think this is probably the biggest scrap I've ever seen Michael Bisping in, if I can remember.
Yeah, I was trying to recall maybe another fight that was this back and forth. I think I think the Rashad Evans was similar, but I don't think there was as much damage as there was in this fight. With that said, I think Michael Bisping did take most of the damage, though.
Well, the thing with Michael Bisping is his fights never end up on social media platforms. This fight was a lot of clips all over Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Usually, you don't see. The only time I see Michael Bisping on social media is when he's getting knocked out by Dan Henderson.
Yeah.
So he should be proud of that way. His fight was entertaining enough to land on all the social media platforms. So just reaction to the fight, I mean, it was pretty back and forth. Anderson Silva, after 18 months off, did he look good to you? Did he look kind of... he was light on his feet, not as fast as he used to be, I think.
I thought his reaction, as far as reaction timing, was a little bit off. Obviously, you saw that maybe he doesn't have the strongest chin like he used to have. I'll tell you one thing, though. I was always cringing when he would go to old Anderson Silva, put his hands down, and almost let him get a couple of shots in. I'm like, come on, Anderson. I don't want you getting caught. But the one thing I do take out of this was the fact that how proud Michael Bisping was of the fight. To tell you, and I think this is what left the sour taste in my mouth too with the John Jones and Alexander Gustafsson fight, where John Jones tried to make the argument that he is the greatest of all time after that type of performance, which doesn't kind of make sense to me, where it's a performance that it could have went either way. Depending on who your judges was or how they woke up that morning, it could have went either way. And for Michael Bisping to make it seem like it was like a huge win, if your name says, I have a win over Anderson Silva, obviously it's huge. But at the same time, his performance wasn't something where I would be like, oh, dude, he totally dominated that fight. If anything, he won by inches and centimeters because he pushed the pace.
Well, last week's show we said, can Michael Bisping beat a 30-plus-year-old, a late 30 Anderson Silva coming off all these, surgeries and then get knocked out by Chris Weidman.
And the answer is barely.
Yeah, barely. So
which is not a good thing. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to reiterate. It's not a good thing that he barely got the decision because again, it could have went either way. I'll tell you the truth. I think in that third round, that should have been considered a KO. Because it came right in the third round when the bell rang. I thought it was a KO loss.
But also now, it's in the books now. Bisping is a winner. He's calling now for a title shot. We'll get to Bisping's next steps.
There's plenty of points for him before you.
So I want to jump onto the Gegard Mousasi, who had another impressive performance in his card. On this card, you got Billy Tellis-Lightis, another former title challenger. But you're more impressed with his promo afterwards, right?
He's cutting the sickest promo ever. He pretty much went full heel. And before I get that, the guy, I feel like the guy has like ice literally in his veins. I mean, I never see that guy panic. I never seen him like intense or anything like that. But he was pissed off after the fight. He didn't like the fact that the critics over there saying he doesn't finish people. The critics were saying that the guy's not entertaining. And he could. And this is why I respect Gegard Mousasi. He kept it real. He said, look, I'm a smart fighter. There's no reason for me to finish. I'm showing you guys a clinic, and if you guys can't appreciate that, that's on you.
He's always been a fighter's fight fan.
He's a hardcore MMA fan,
And Dana White even said it. He's a big fan of Mousasi. He just wants to see him get on a roll and see what damage he can do. But these guys fought with Henderson, Machida, and he was supposed to fight Gustafsson his first bout here. So he's been given nothing but
high caliber,
top 5 opponents since he's been here since day one.
And the most shocking thing was he said he accused Machida of not only
that's your boy right there. So.
not only greasing on their match, but on steroids as well.
Well,
he even said he confirmed with Luke Rockhold that he did seem a little bit more slippery in the fight. So that Luke Rockhold can vouch for him, saying that Machida is a greaser.
So we'll see. I think it's interesting night for the middleweight division, right? Because Mousasi does jump up and down between light heavyweight, and middleweight. But I think now he's kind of found a home in the middleweight.
Yeah, I think middleweight is a perfect weight division for himself, and I think it's a good opening. It sucks that he had that fallback with Uriah Hall.
Yeah, that's one thing.
But he blames that on the fact that he had in his head that he should have finished.
Yeah.
And he let himself open because he was trying to pursue the finish and win and still fighting his fight. But with that said, I think he can be easily anybody in that top division.
It always seems like Mousasi, like more than any other fighter, I think he'll learn more from a loss than anything, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that he probably took that Uriah Hall loss and like raised his IQ to like 110 points.
Yeah.
Fighting wise, so we'll see. I think I am in the boat with Dana White. I agree with them on this. Like I want to see him on a roll and see what he can do in 2016. So it should be interesting. So that's it for round number one. Round number two, we talk about the future of Anderson Silva and what does his performance warrant anything coming up in the future? Should he stick around? Should he retire? Should he hang it up? Should he go to Bellator if that? So stick around, guys. All right, time for round number two. So after this surprising loss to Michael Bisping, where does Anderson Silva go now? I personally think if you lose Michael Bisping, you're automatically down to the bottom half of the division.
Yeah.
And Anderson Silva at what? He's almost 40. Is he 40 now?
He's exactly 4 years
40 years old, losing Michael Bisping decision. I think you should just either call it up, or hang him up, or maybe pursue his options in Bellator or World Series of Fighting. Will that happen? I know he's under contract, but I mean, I don't know where you go from here. What matchups are there possible for him? I mean, you've been the biggest Anderson Silva fan on this show. I really regret Gavin not being here because I know he'll probably tear you a new one now.
He probably would. But with that said, though, he lost the fight.
Yeah.
But he still showed a glimpse of the old Anderson Silva, and I still think he won the fight regardless. I think he won the fight by the KO in the third round, and I think he won the fight by decision regardless. But with that said, though, he did not look like the old Anderson Silva. But I think there's still a couple more super fights he can do. I would never put him with the top contender anymore. I mean, I wouldn't do the rematch with Chris Weidman. That's ridiculous. I wouldn't even put him with Gegard Mousasi.
Nope.
I would do like super fights against him and Dan Henderson again. Maybe get that fight that was supposed to happen a couple years ago, which is him versus Rashad Evans.
Okay, maybe.
But other than those type of fights, I really would not want to see him compete. I mean, if he retires, I think that's the best option. Just because, I mean, he has nothing to prove. There's no reason to taint his legacy anymore. I'm pretty sure he made his money. But if he is going to continue, I hope it's in the route of these so-called super fights.
Yeah, well, this is the same parallel with almost Kobe Bryant, right?
Yeah.
This is Kobe's farewell season. He should have been hung up a long time ago when he got towards Achilles.
Yeah, exactly.
Now he's coming down. His shooting percentage is low. Yeah. He's on an embarrassing team. I'm a Lakers fan. It hurts me to say it, but they're an embarrassment right now. He's just going out there doing waving his goodbyes. But at the one point, are people going to remember him for 81 points against the Raptors, or Kobe Bryant going 7 for 24, barely getting 14 points? Anderson Silva, are we going to remember him for the spectacular knockouts between Vitor Belfort, and dominating guys like Damian Maia, or are we going to remember him from getting knocked out by Chris Weidman and losing to Michael Bisping? I mean, at what point, where's that line at? I think that maybe, those matchups, but they're Fight Pass matchups, they're Fight Night matchups, they're UFC Tampa matchups, you know what I mean? Yeah. They're not, the big pay-per-view ones, or I don't think even UFC on Fox cards, to tell you the truth. There's going to be random fight nights on Sunday night or with those Wednesday night cards they have. I mean, if that's the legacy this guy wants now, I mean, Anderson Silva, hey, UFC Fight Night main event against Dan Henderson in, Kansas City on a Wednesday night. I mean, if that's something he wants to do, then go ahead, but I think UFC will probably keep him around just because they so many advanced, they need names. But as far as the legacy goes, I don't see him really doing much as these days, anyways. So
and that brings two things up to mind. When we talk about legacy, the best person that comes up to mind is Chuck Liddell.
Yeah.
How he was almost considered the greatest of all time when he was fighting, and then those horrible losses at the end of his career, not just of who he lost to, but how he lost. And to tell you the truth, people still respect Chuck Liddell, but I don't think you ever see him in the top 10.
Yeah, but also Chuck Liddell didn't get busted for steroids.
No, that's true too. But yeah,
or PEDs or whatever,
but at the same
Viagra,
time, like,
whatever it is.
If you want to bring up the roids and stuff like that, A-Rod technically will always have that stain, but yeah, he will still be in the talks. I don't think Chuck Liddell will ever be in the talks because of the way he ended his career.
I also think it also kind of benefited Chuck Liddell that he retired right before the 4 cards in a month era, so he was still going out on pay-per-view. His last fight was a main event pay-per-view, Franklin versus Liddell. So he was able to go out making that pay-per-view money. I think if he was around today, he would be on, obviously, the Fight Pass cards, the Fight Night cards. So he retired right before the era started. So now, we're maybe you should keep fighting a little more longer. So I think maybe the UFC might be hesitant to tell guys to hang it up when there's so many cards to fill. I mean, we're at average, at least one a weekend now, right?
Yeah, and that's what my second point was, that supposedly the Fight Pass numbers were amazing because Anderson Silva was in it. With that said, though, like if you, like I said earlier, if you were to do Dan Henderson versus Anderson Silva the Fight Pass, I think you would still get just as good numbers. Of course, it would have to be in Brazil. And I think you would just get the same amount of good numbers. And what that says, that means there's a market still for Anderson Silva at 40 years old, regardless of how many losses he's had in his last 3 fights.
Is it you or Guillermo who wants the old guys division?
That was me.
That was you?
I'm all for the 50 plus league.
That can happen very
obviously, you're going to have a doctor right there by cage side, ready in case they need emergency help.
Just bring Shamrock and Gracie back in. Just have them all UFC Fight Pass exclusives. So that's it for round number 2. Stick around. We're talking about Michael Bisping and whether or not he's even close to sniffing a title shot after defeating Anderson Silva. So stick around, guys. Time for round number 3. As you well know, a very emotional Michael Bisping was calling for a title shot after his decision victory over Anderson Silva. I personally don't think he is anywhere close to sniffing a title shot. But the way the UFC's treating this middleweight division, I think he might get one just because they automatically put Chris Weidman, give him a rematch against champion Luke Rockhold after he was beaten down for 3 rounds, I think. So he may be number 1 contender. I don't know, but if you look at Anderson Silva, I mean Michael Bisping's win-loss record, who he's beaten throughout his career, I don't think they're anywhere close to sniffing a title shot.
Yeah, and I really do think there's some strong opponents ahead of him. Yoel Romero's technically disqualified right now, but despite that, when he comes back, he's still some guy that should be above a lot of people. But with that said, I think he still has to get through Tim Kennedy, which Tim Kennedy's been crying about. Where's he at?
Yeah.
And then we still got Jacare there, who I think, without the Romero loss, he was technically the first contender, and one guy that I think would have faced Luke Rockhold if it wasn't for that loss to Yoel Romero.
Yeah.
So these are 2 crucial guys, I think, that Michael Bisping has to still get passed by if you even want to say the title contending thing. I'm not even saying that he has to be Chris Weidman or he has to be Mousasi. I think these are 2 crucial guys that he has to get past regardless.
Yeah. So let's go back to the Michael Bisping has 15 KOs in his career.
Yeah.
But they're all kind of relatively early.
Yeah.
Like he actually started off his UFC career with 3 straight TKO wins. As Josh Haynes, Eric Schaefer, some guy named Elvis Sasonic, and then he won a decision against Matt Hamill, and then he TKO'd Charles McCarthy. He's TKO'd Jason Day, but let me know when you get a guy who's he TKO'd Dennis Kang, he TKO'd Jorge Rivera, and then he TKO'd Jason Miller. Then after that, it's been kind of decision, and then. Well,
the funny part is about those TKOs. A lot of people say Michael Bisping has pillow hands.
Yeah.
That's what he's on. That he can't really knock somebody out.
I mean, but this is guy before Anderson Silva, he beat Thales Leites and Steve Dollar.
Yeah, exactly.
And those were both decisions. And then he lost. He got beat by Luke Rockhold by submission.
And even if you go back to that Thales Leites fight where he barely won, Mousasi clearly destroyed Thales Leites. It wasn't even really a fight. Yeah, there wasn't a finish, but Mousasi outclassed Thales Leites from beginning bell to the end of the bell. So what does that say about Michael Bisping? That Gegard Mousasi is still leap years ahead of Michael Bisping.
And it's fun, this is not me being salty. I mean, you may be a little salty because you're actually so a fan.
Maybe.
But I enjoy Michael Bisping, the on-air analyst for Fox Sports. I enjoy Michael Bisping during interviews. I think he's super entertaining. But the fighter, you look at his track record. He's just not there.
It's not good.
He's not even anywhere near the type of caliber.
And he has admitted that he says when it comes to those big fights where I'm supposed to show everybody who exactly I am. He doesn't come through.
Yeah.
Vitor Belfort, even regardless of TRT or whatever.
Yeah.
Tim Kennedy.
Luke Rockhold. There's lots of Chael Sonnen.
These are big fights that are supposed to get him over the hump, but he never got over.
Yeah.
And now he barely wins Anderson Silva, a 40-year-old guy who I don't think is in the top 10 at all.
Yeah.
So...
for climbing for a title shot now is a little bit, but he's also
far-fetched,
but he's also smart enough to realize that this division is being treated kind of weirdly right now. But you see where a win like this can't get me to the title shot, especially when they're just giving Chris on a rematch because there's nobody else.
Yeah,
I mean, because obviously Mousasi hasn't gotten on a roll yet. Machida lost to Luke Rockhold. And basically now you just have Bisping and Silva's gone. So there's really nobody really left in the middleweight division. I mean, Vitor Belfort's kind of every aspect he's got a title shot, he's used them up and lost to him anyways. So I don't know who's left just because.
But like I said,
I mean, other than like Jacare, and then Yoel Romero gets suspended for PED, so it's like other than right now, Bisping's behind Jacare. I think end of the line. Everybody's trying to argue Bisping jumping ahead of Jacare. I think it's ridiculous.
No, I think he really has to face Jacare if he wants to even get ahead of him.
Yeah.
But even the one thing that Vitor has going from is the fact that Luke Rockhold has a salty taste in his mouth over that defeat because he feels that if Vitor wasn't on TRT or whatever he was on, he wouldn't have defeated Luke Rockhold. And I think with that, Luke Rockhold wants to avenge that loss. So, regardless of where Vitor stands in the rankings, I think he's still number one guy. Just because if Luke Rockhold's the champion, he wants to erase that loss.
I think to me it makes sense to put Bisping versus Mousasi on a UFC Fight Pass, UFC Fight Night in Europe, right?
That was the original matchup.
Yeah, might as well make that happen. They both won.
Yeah,
have it either in London again or the Netherlands, or have it somewhere in Europe where they're both from. And that way you have a true number one contender. I think if Bisping beats Mousasi, give him a title shot. And obviously Mousasi wins the title shot. I mean, Mousasi's Mousasi. So that's it for 5 round MMA for the first 3 rounds. We'll take a quick little break. We'll come back and talk about Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor and that whole circus that was. Stick around, guys. Everyone, keep up to date with us on social media. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FiveRoundMMA. Like us on Facebook. And please visit FiveRoundMMA.com. And also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube, Podomatic, and iTunes pages. We're back. Thanks for sticking on a short little break. So, other than Silva and Bisping, the other main big news from this week was Rafael dos Anjos pulling out of his fight against Conor McGregor with a broken foot. It looked pretty nasty, too. I mean, McGregor called it a bruise on his foot, but he had like a baseball-sized welt on the top of his foot.
His foot looked fat.
And then the big winner of the contest was Nate Diaz after speculation of Cowboy Cerrone. And going into that night before the announcement, the 3 biggest names I saw were Nate Diaz, Cowboy Cerrone, and Anthony Pettis. And then, according to Dana White, who announced the UFC, it was between like Frankie Edgar was offered, Uriah Faber was offered, BJ Penn wanted to fight. I think they didn't even say Cowboy or Pettis were even offered the fight, were they?
I don't know if they were offered, but it sure didn't seem like they were on top of the list.
Yeah, so the winner is Nate Diaz. So why, in your opinion, was it Nate Diaz?
I think of 2 crucial reasons. One, the guy can talk smack. And if you talk smack to Conor McGregor, that just fuels him to talk even more smack, which the crowd eats up. They love it. They love the smack talking. They love the phrases Conor McGregor comes up with. And the second thing is they want to see a stand-up fight. I think the more stand-up fights between Conor McGregor, the more exciting he gets and the more exciting the fans end up. I think if it would have been like Uriah Faber, I think he would have trouble in ground game. The thing with Cowboy Cerrone, because he's still coming off of the Dos Anjos loss, I don't think it would have a lot of stock in him.
It's a non-title fight.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think Diaz it has a winning record on his card so far.
Well, one loss. I remember they showed the tape on SportsCenter. Like Diaz's record's 19-10.
Yeah,
and like 1 straight win. And Diaz, it's like if you were a casual fan and had no idea who Nate Diaz was, like why?
Yeah, you'd be like, why did they do this matchup?
Why is Conor McGregor, who's 19-5, just by record alone? Because fight fans, casual boxing fans are trained to look at the record. So Floyd Mayweather, who's 40-0, 41-0, looks when he's fighting a guy who's 19-10, doesn't look. You know what I mean? So we've been trained to look at records. But fight fans don't. Nate Diaz is legit.
Yeah.
But the casual fans don't.
A lot of fighters have those bad records. Uriah Faber has a horrible record.
Yeah.
if you look at the numbers. Anthony Pettis doesn't have as clean of a record as he did before. Cowboy Cerrone.
Well, BJ Penn or Randy Couture.
Yeah, they both don't have good records. So it would have been tough, I think, to even tell if you're going off records.
But that's the difference between MMA and boxing. That's a whole different conversation. MMA fans know records don't really say much because the quality of opponents are always there in MMA. But I kind of agree with you. I think, too, that maybe... I think if it was going to be a guy in featherweight like Frankie Edgar or Uriah Faber, it would just justify not having a title bout. So I think that's why anybody at 145 was gone. So it had to be at 155 or up.
Yeah.
Maybe unless Frankie and Faber want to go up to 155. I've never seen Faber be that heavy. And obviously Frankie was the former champion. But I think it's because they have a better feeling. Like you say, it's more of a sellable fight. And I think they think that McGregor can beat Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
The last thing you want is
a wrestler.
And just McGregor to lose in a non-title bout.
Yeah.
And then how do you justify his title shot against Rafael dos Anjos? So it's all marketing. It's all great planning by the UFC.
Yeah, it was a very good choice if you're a promoter, I think.
Yeah, because
if you were going to do the Uriah Faber fight, it would be something you have to do like a 3-month span.
Yeah.
Just because you want the two guys to be best prepared for each other, and it better be for a big prize. Because if it's just for a casual fight, you can potentially lose your biggest star in the organization after you lost hundreds of other stars like John Bon Jones, Ronda Rousey.
Anderson Silva's gone.
Anderson Silva.
Now, when they asked him like why, it's a fight that Diaz wanted it. McGregor wanted it. Oh, okay. Other than that, then he just wanted to fight. I mean, you just said that everybody else wanted to fight him, but for some reason to get the Diaz, obviously because you want to stand up fight, and you hopefully made that press conference would be somewhat entertaining, which I think it was. Yeah.
I like some of the phrases. What he said to Nate Diaz, throwing game signs with one hand and making balloon animals with the other.
So, yeah, I like that too. I think it'll be all right. I mean, it's gonna be a fun week. The fight takes place this Saturday, so it will be fun to see. Excuse me, but what if Nate Diaz wins? What does that do for the Diaz reputation? And what stocks that leave? I think he's already on the fence with Dana White. And if you read Conor McGregor, just cut your bags and go to Bellator, bro.
I think chaos will ensue if Nate Diaz wins because a couple of things. One, UFC's going to be hurting. It'll be with Conor McGregor has a loss to Nate Diaz. The other thing is Nate Diaz is not going to touch another glove if he doesn't get paid Conor McGregor money. And you know he's going to say, because he's going to say, look, I defeated your boy, Conor McGregor. I better get paid now. And it's going to cause chaos. I know it.
Hopefully he does. It'll be kind of cool to see his brother and then Jake Shields and Melendez all in there celebrating. It'd be kind of funny because that crew's been so tight. But future we'll see. So stick around. We're actually got one more round left. We're going to preview that card. So stick around, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and look at UFC 196, which takes place this Saturday, March 5th, live from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. It will be headlined between a welterweight bout between Nate Diaz and the notorious Conor McGregor. Also, co-main event, women's bantamweight championship bout between Holly Holm, newly crowned champion, against Miesha Tate. So we kind of spent the time on Diaz and McGregor. It's going to be a brawl, more likely a 170 brawl, 175-pound brawl. A lot of middle fingers, trash talking in the ring. Should be fun to watch. But let's go down to what I think should have been bumped in the main event was the Holly Holm versus Miesha Tate championship bout. Why not have the newly crowned minted champion, the king, the woman, the queen of MMA, main event? Is Dana White still being kind of a little salty to knocking out Ronda Rousey?
I think it's the latter. I think there's some salt there, but at the same time, I think he knows he has to package Holly Holm and kind of establish her, and you really have to sell it to the fans as the next big thing in women's MMA. The fact that she's facing Miesha Tate, I think it's a good and bad thing. One, because Miesha Tate does have a notable name. I mean, you say Miesha Tate, most people will know. If you're an MMA fan, you know who she is. But at the same time, I think they could have found a better caliber fighter for Holly Holm to fight.
Like who?
Well, I'm still a believer of Jessica Eye. I'm still a big believer of Jessica Eye.
Well, Miesha Tate beat this guy.
Yeah, but there's a...
Out of all the women Ronda Rousey destroyed, she destroyed Miesha Tate the last. I guess that makes kind of sense. So why not have the woman who survived the longest in Ronda Rousey, the first woman to challenge Holly Holm?
If we're going off that, it's kind of unfair.
But there's no other reason to go off of it.
I'm going off of who Miesha Tate has fought.
Okay.
Rather, because I know Miesha Tate, if you get past Miesha Tate, you get to Ronda Rousey. Which is, there's only a rare amount of girls that got past Miesha Tate to get to Ronda Rousey. But out of all those, I still think Jessica Eye did a good performance and would have done an even better performance, I think, against Holly Holm.
Yeah.
I can't think of her name, but she got injured, unfortunately, and wasn't able to...
Kat Zingano?
Yeah, Kat Zingano. I think she would have been a much tougher opponent for Holly Holmes as well.
Yeah. But, I mean, also, I think I'm more excited for Holly Holm, too. This is the first bout post Ronda Rousey. She could really, make a name for herself with an impressive performance against Miesha Tate. That way, it wasn't a fluke.
If she knocks out Miesha Tate, she's going to skyrocket up to superstardom.
If the UFC allows her, right? Because Ronda Rousey lost, but she's still on every daytime television show. So we'll see how the UFC really wants to market Holly Holm, or if it's just, this is Ronda Rousey's division. Holly Holm just, keeping the seat warm for her. Also on this card, we got your boy Eric Silva, who's kind of staying in the middle of the pack.
Up and down, left and right.
Tom Lawler's back in the UFC. Well, he's been back, but he's on this card as well.
Go ahead and just get to, I think, where I think it's an insult.
Is it Darren Elkins?
No, it's that Diego Sanchez is in the Fight Pass prelim cards. I think he could have easily been the main event of the prelims, the regular prelims. I think they're just, one, trying to sell the Fight Pass still.
Exactly, think of it that way.
And two, still disrespecting my boy Diego Sanchez. The guy can never get any respect in the UFC. Let's keep it real.
Nope. Jim Miller coming off a loss against Michael Chiesa, Diego Sanchez.
I really think this is whoever loses pretty much gets the Bellator.
Well, then, goodbye, Jim Miller, then.
Exactly.
No, hopefully not. This is back at 155. Diego said that 145 was
was just too much of a cut,
I think he should maybe try for 135, maybe see how that goes. But 155, he arguably had the most success in this division. Yeah. So we shall see. His last win was Ross Pearson at 155. So maybe if you could... we all know the game plan for Diego, right? Just don't get in a brawl, you win. Yeah, pretty much. So, and Jim Miller himself was at one point considered like the number 3 guy in the division for the longest too. I mean, if you could beat Jim Miller, you pretty much had a title shot. Yep. But lately, he's been racking up the losses too. He has never played with the weight division. He's a smaller 155er. Yeah. So it'll be an interesting matchup. I think it'll be a good matchup. Well, that's interesting. I thought too. Also on this card is Brandon Thatch. He's kind of up there. I think he's at the co-main event, right before the co-main event, against a guy who's come off 2 losses. Shiar Badouzaharazar. Both guys are coming off 2 losses. But Brandon Thatch they're up there on the pay-per-view level. I mean, you think the UFC just really likes Brandon Thatch, or trying to market his look, or what is this? It could be the whole Benson Henderson thing. Yeah, where they're just pretty much, if they build this guy up, maybe Benson Henderson's win wasn't that much, or maybe if he loses, I don't know. For me, it feels like it's Benson Henderson related. Yeah, because like for the second. For the top third bout. Yeah. Both guys come out consecutive losses. That's kind of weird for a pay-per-view anyways. When Diego Sanchez should be up there. Exactly. So that's it for UFC 196. I mean, it's a card that's very top-heavy, like all the pay-per-views seem to be nowadays. But Conor McGregor will get a lot of views in. So, I mean, you're just tuning in for Conor McGregor, basically, right? Yeah. So that takes place this Saturday, March 5th. MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, and can be seen live on pay-per-views. It'll be a crazy hectic week. I can't wait to see the weigh-ins, actually. It's going to be fun. That's it for us this week. Make sure to tune in to our show weekly and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FiveRoundMMA. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, and Podomatic. And please visit FiveRoundMMA.com. You can also check out this podcast at FightBookMMA.com under the podcast page. That's FightBookMMA.com. A big thank you to all of our sponsors. First with Walking Green eco-friendly cleaning products, the 5 Rounds clothing line, and of course the Redemption Martial Arts, Rise Up Against Bullying. Albert, what do you got? Just want to thank everybody for listening.
You are now listening to Afro Mighty Radio.